जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्। वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
बोल कन्हैया, कलयुग में गीता श्लोक सिखाया जा रहा है। कहाँ कान्हा? गीता परिवार के ऑनलाइन जूम पर 20 दिनों में 2 अध्यायों का संस्कृत में शुद्ध पठन, गीता गुंजन सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा। साप्ताहिक गीता अर्थ विवेचन सत्र, 4 स्तरों पर संपूर्ण भगवद गीता का निशुल्क प्रशिक्षण, सभी अध्यायों के निशुल्क PDF, ऑडियो व वीडियो सामग्री मिलेगी। संस्कृत व्याकरण के लिए अतिरिक्त कक्षाएं होंगी। जून 2020 से अब तक 131 देशों से 4 लाख से अधिक गीता प्रेमी साधकों को प्रवेश। तो चलो हम भी चलें। reg.learngita.com। आओ हम भी चले। रजिस्टर नाउ। Welcome to free online Geeta classes. It's a journey of mantras. We learn Geeta shloks in 4 levels. In first level, we learn 2 adhyay in 20 days. Then we will get a precious Geeta Gunjan certificate. We conduct extra grammar classes to learn Sanskrit easily. You will get free audio, video and PDF of adhyayas. There are amazing weekly interpretation sessions. This class is conducted 40 minutes a day, 5 days in a week, in 13 time slots and in 12 languages. What are you waiting for? Join fast. Register now on reg.learngita.com. Hurry up and join fast. Jai Shri Krishna. अरे ओ कान्हा, रुक तो जरा, भाग भाग के कहाँ जा रहा है? मैया, गीता परिवार के ऑनलाइन जूम क्लास में गीता सिखाया जा रहा है। मैं वही जा रहा हूँ। जरा यह तो बता, वहाँ होता क्या है? मेरे भक्त गीता का शुद्ध उच्चारण करते हैं, मुझे आनंद आता है। आज ही गीता के श्लोक सीखने के लिए रजिस्टर करें। रजिस्टर नाउ reg.learngita.com। गोपियों, तुम भी चलो गीता सीखने के लिए। मैं आ रहा हूँ।
Jai Shri Krishna to one and all. Santushtas satatan yogi yatatma dhud nischayah. We have our possessions as per our need. Anything excess do not belong to us. The excess is meant for others' welfare. This tendency of unnecessary hoardings leads to greed and lust, which makes us blind and we lose our sense. So we can chase away this habit by the song of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. So with this note, I bow in the feet of Lord Krishna and taking blessings from Param Pujya Swami Shri Govind Dev Giri Ji Maharaj, I once again warmly welcome to all of you to today's enlightening interpretation session of 6th chapter. Prayer talks to Lord Almighty, the creator of whole universe. So let's start our session with the presence of Lord Krishna. For prayer, I would like to call upon Lakshmi Kunt Mukala Didi. She is from Vijayawada, serving as a techno star. She is associated with Geeta Parivar since June 2022. Please welcome Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Thank you, Didi, for this beautiful prayer. As we all are aware that we start every event and occasion with deep prajwalana, it takes away negativity, thoughts, and negative thoughts from our mind. I would like to request for deep prajwalana Sangeeta Maheshwari Didi. She resides in Mumbai, serving as a trainer in L1, L2, L3, and L4, and she is associated with Geeta Parivar since June 2020. Please welcome you.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi, for taking us darkness to light. Now, I feel honored to mention today's respected speaker, Vikas Vaidya Bhayaji. He is BE/PG DBM. He is NRI for 12 years. He is owning a small IT company based in Pune. He knows Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish languages. He is a trainer in Geeta Parivar for L2 to L4 and involved in trainers selection and trainers training. He is involved in teaching and Vivechana of Vishnu Sahasranam as a member of Pune Geeta Parivar. He is guiding Geeta Vratis to prepare for Sringeri Peeth Geeta exam. One thing I want to mention here especially that he has given Geeta Kanthasth exam at Sringeri Peeth. He has received first prize at the hands of Param Pujya Jagadguru Shankaracharya. Please welcome Bhayaji. It's my honor, it's my privilege.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Adhyay 6th, Atma Sanyam Yoga, one of the most important chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna himself, Yogeshwara himself, is going to teach us techniques of yoga. What more can we expect? Yogeshwara teaching us yoga. In the last week's session, I think you covered shlok number 1 to 9, out of which shlok number 7, 8, 9. We'll quickly go through those 3 shlokas. They are related to Sayyam. Sayyam in the sense Samata Yoga, equanimity. So those 3 shlokas, 7, 8, 9 were Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah Shītoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoh Jnana vijnana truptatma kutastho vijitendriyah Yukta ityachyate yogi samaloshtasma kanchanah. And lastly, Surunmit mitraryudasinam madhyastadveshya bandhushu sadhushvaja papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. Now these three shlokas, Karma Yogi attains Paramatma through equanimity. We know the basic principle of Bhagavad Gita is equanimity. Samatmai yoga uchyate. In second adhyay, there is a shloka, Samatmai yoga uchyate. So samatha, equanimity, is the base of Bhagavad Gita. And these three shlokas were the route which Karma Yogi follows to attain Paramatma through equanimity. Equanimity related shlokas are there in plenty in Bhagavad Gita. In fifth adhyay, there is a shloka, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Vyastini Shunichaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. That is the external equanimity. When you are dealing with outside people, how you have to follow the principle of equanimity. A Pandit well equipped with wisdom and humility, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a chandal. A person, a lowly person, whose job is to hang people in the jail. Pandita Samadarshana. So that is the external equanimity, looking at all people in equanimity. And in the fifth adhyay, again, there is a shloka, Na pravrishit priyam prapya, no dvijit prapya. That is the internal equanimity. Equanimity while dealing with our own sentiments and emotions. If you get something favorable, don't start dancing in the joy. And if you get something unfavorable, don't start shedding tears. Accept both in equanimity. So this is the principle. Now, in these last three shlokas, what we read just now, 7, 8, 9, Karma Yogi's way of following the principle of samatha were explained by Paramatma, through which he attains Paramatma. Now, the same attainment of Paramatma can be done through the route of a Dhyana Yogi. A Dhyana Yogi can also attain Paramatma, and this is the technique Paramatma is going to teach us in this adhyaya now, shlok number 10 onwards. Dhyana, meditation. Meditation route, Paramatma is going to tell us now how to follow the principles of meditation and what does meditation really mean. So 10th shloka is Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekakiyata chittatma nirashira parigraha. So these are the basic requirements before we start meditation. First thing is rahasi. The place should be a secluded place. Secluded, separate place. Ekaki, you should be alone, not going in a group of people, but you should be going alone. And then yata chittatma, you should have control over your mind and body. Nirashi, nirashi means not nirash, nirashi means no asha, no desire. So person devoid of desire is nirashi. And aparigraha, that means the habit of normal human beings is to accumulate things of materialistic nature. So aparigraha, give away that habit of accumulation. So these 3-4 things are required when a yogi goes in this situation. So that Dhyana Yogi, he constantly engages himself in meditation. He constantly engages himself in meditation by conquering his body, mind, and sense. And such a yogi who is free from desires, Nirashi, he is free from desires and he is free from possessiveness, accumulation, aparigraha. That fellow, that yogi, lives alone in seclusion and immerses himself in the remembrance of Lord at all times. Yogi yunjita satatam. Yogi yunjita satatam. Yunjit is getting one with Paramatma, getting connected to Paramatma. So this is the yogi. Now, unlike ordinary people who keep accumulating stuff for the elusive tomorrow, let us say, we don't know when that tomorrow really comes or not. But a Jnani has no tendency to acquire objects of materialistic nature. He doesn't have that habit. He doesn't have that habit of accumulation. A Jnani, he lives in the present. We people live in the past or in the future. We never live in the present. But a Jnani lives in the present and his needs are minimal. So he is not in the habit of accumulation. Secondly, the Lord is saying about solitude, seclusion, loneliness, separate place, quiet place. Now that seclusion can be of two types. One seclusion is external. place related seclusion. You go to a quiet place where there is no crowd of people, you are alone there. So that is a secluded place. That is external seclusion, quiet place. But there is another seclusion, solitude, that is the internal solitude. The man who is after self-realization is alone inside. That solitude is important. And the one who has experienced such low aloneness within himself, that solitude, aloneness he has experienced within himself, then despite living in the crowded world, he can be alone at all times. So solitude, seclusion does not mean separate from the world. He could be moving in the world, but still he could be alone. So the inner solitude, quietness cannot be attained simply by living in the secluded place. On the contrary, sometimes we see people who are sitting in a secluded place, lonely, they start daydreaming. Hallucination, that is called hallucination. So they go into that mode of hallucination and they start imagining many things. So secluded place is not good at all times. Sometimes it is good, definitely, if you have control over your imaginations and over your body, mind, and senses. So this explanation is about the yogi who is now getting ready to enter into the yoga, in the meditational path of yoga. Now further we go to the shloka number 11. Paramatma is going to tell us the steps which we need to follow for selecting the place, how to prepare for the place, how to sit, where to keep your eyesight. All those minute details Paramatma is going to teach us. Yogeshwar is going to teach us yoga. Shloka number 11. Shritau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamaatmanah natichritan natinichai chailajina kushottaram. One should sit in a clean spot. Shuchau deshe. Deshe is the place. Shuchau, pavitra, pious, clean. So one should sit in a clean spot, and the seat should neither be too high, natichritan, not too low, natinichai. So the seat should be moderately leveled. Moderation is the key. The seat is made by placing the skin of deer. But below that deer skin, there is a small bed of grass, dried grass. So first layer is of dried grass. On that you put the deer skin. But that deer should have died natural death, and then the skin is taken out. You are not allowed to kill the deer and take out its skin. That is not acceptable, that is not allowed. That is a papa. So a layer of dried grass, on that the skin of the deer, on the top of it is soft plain cloth put on that deer skin. So this is the preparation. First we have selected the place, we have cleaned it thoroughly, Shuchau deshe. Then we have seen that natichritan natinichai, it is not very high, not very low. Then we have prepared the seat for that, grass, deer skin, and a piece of soft cloth put on it. Then the practitioner who is going to start yoga should sit firmly on that seat, which is prepared now, in a fixed posture. In a fixed posture, with mind totally focused and senses controlled. That is the procedure we have to follow. Mind totally focused and senses controlled. Senses controlled means they are regulated, they are subdued, not active. And then he should practice yoga for the purification of antakarana. Shlok number 11 and 12 are actually interconnected. So we'll read shlok number 12 also, then we can understand both shlokas together. We read shlok 11, Chitau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamaatmanah natichritan natinichai chailajana kushottaram. Tatra ekagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyah upavishyasena yunjat yogam atma vishuddhaye. So this was shlok number 12. So having prepared the place, Now the practitioner of yoga has occupied the place. He has focused his mind. His senses are controlled, regulated, subdued. And he should practice this yoga now for purification of his antakarana. Now this is important. Yoga practice starts after one is seated on that asana, after senses have been subjugated, restrained, controlled, regulated, whatever word you want to use. The mind has been stilled, calmed down. Only when all this is accomplished, only then the yoga practice is set to commence. So if somebody, you go to some friend and if he says that, just wait for 10 minutes, I'll go inside the room, I'll do meditation, yoga, and we'll come back in 10 minutes. If somebody is telling you that he is doing yoga in 10 minutes, you can safely assume that he is telling you a plain bluff. No one can do yoga, no one can do meditation in 10 minutes. These steps are necessary. Unless you follow these steps, the yoga practice doesn't start at all. And what is the purpose of yoga? Purification, refinement, cleansing, cleaning of antakarana. And what is antakarana? Antakarana is the mind, the intellect, the aham. Aham means not ahankar. Aham means what we say, my, mera, that my, aham. And the subconscious mind. So these four things put together, mind, intellect, aham, and subconscious. These four things put together constitute the antakarana. And this yoga practice we are performing for cleaning, for purification, for refinement of antakarana. Why subconscious mind is to be purified? Subconscious mind purification is a must, because it is holding the sanskar from the previous lives as well as from this life. And these sanskar, they prop up and force us to get into action most of the time. Our past sanskar drive the way we do perform our karmas. Sometimes we perform good karmas. More often than not, we are performing rajasi or tamasi karmas. So before we start meditation, we have to do this cleaning operation. Swachh Bharat. Swachh Bharat operation is to be done for our mind, our intellect, our aham, and our subconscious mind. Having done these steps, then only we can proceed further. So while proceeding further, now we go to the next sloka, slok number 13. After having done this, Nati Chitarnati Nichai Chailajan Kushotaram, Tatre Gagram Manakatva, Ida Chitendriya Kriya. Now we will do Samankaya Shirogriva. Now Paramatma is telling us the next step. You have occupied the place, you have controlled your Chitendriya, you have regulated your mind, senses, body, everything fine. Upavishasini, you have already sat down on the place. And the main purpose is Shuddhi of Antakarana, refinement, purification of Antakarana. How to start that process? Paramatma explains the minutest of details from next sloka. Slok number 13. Samankaya Shiro Grivan Arayanyachalam Stiraha Samprekshanasikagram Swan Dishascha Namalokayan. Samankaya Shiro Grivan. Samang. Same, in the same line. What same in the same line? Kaya, your body. This part of the body, your Shira, your head. And Grivan. Griva is your neck. So your head, your neck, and your body should be in the same line. Samankaya Shiro Grivan. Dharayanya Chalam Stiraha. Dharayanya Chalam Stiraha. Dharayan is to hold. Dharayan is to hold. So you hold your body, your neck, and your head in the same line. And don't move. It should be still. Achal and Sthira. Both words are used. Achal and Sthira. So when you are occupying the seat and you are sitting in this place, you have to sit Samankaya Shiro Grivan Dharayanya Chalam Sthiraha. Having done that, then you have to do Samprekshanasikagram swan. Now this is interesting. Paramatma says, you are sitting in this posture, your head, your neck, your body is in the same straight line. Very good. Go further. You're holding your body, neck without moving anything. Sthiram, achalam. Very good. Very nice. Next, Sampreksha Nasika Gram Swan. Paramatma says, now start gazing at the tip of your own nose. Swam. Swam is your own. Nasikagra. Nasikagra is this, the tip of the nose. Put your both eyes on the tip of your nose. See, Paramatma is not leaving anything under doubt. He says, Sampreksha. Sampreksha is to gaze, to focus, to see. Nasikagram Swam. Swam is your own. It is true that you are sitting in a secluded, lonely place and you are doing this yoga. So you will look at the tip of your nose. But suppose you are sitting in a hall where there are 7-8 people like you who are doing meditation. So Paramatma is careful about saying this. He says, don't look at the tip of somebody else's nose. Look at the tip of your own nose. Swam. Swam. So Samprekshanasika Gramsam. And Dishascha Navalope. Don't look this way, that way. Dishascha, no, not allowed. Not allowed to look in this direction and that direction. Look straight. Keep your head, neck, body straight. And put it gazing on the tip of your nose. Now, why Paramatma is asking us to take this posture? We know that the spinal column is the important part of body. Now, in this shloka, Paramatma says the spinal column should be erect. The lumbar region, that means the lower part of our back, should be straightened. Now, people don't sit straight, and that is the reason that many people have this backache problem. Backache is a common problem because they don't sit straight. They sit like this or like that, something like that. And if your lumbar region, the lower back region, is not healthy, then your body will not be healthy. So this is the most important part of the body. The spinal column is an important part of the body, connecting the peripheral nervous system to the brain. To the brain. In 7th Adhyaya, if you remember, Paramatma has said this about Mattah Paradarannanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvavidam Protam Sutre Manigana Iva. Nothing is separate from me, Arjuna. Everything is linked, is woven around me. Is woven around me, just as the beads of pearl are strung in a thread, in a string. So same way, this spiral column of our body is holding the entire body. Our body is woven around this spinal cord, spinal column. So people who have backache, they imagine that Mattah Paradarannanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya, because both the similarities are given in Bhagavad Gita itself. Paramatma is holding the universe around him, like the spinal cord is holding the entire body around it. So people who have backache, they recite this shloka, Mattah Paradarannanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Manigana Iva. Imagine that the Lord is in the spinal cord and then recite this shloka. People say they have got good effect of this. So the point is, spinal cord is one of the most important part of the body because it connects the nervous system to the brain. Now, once this posture is assumed, then don't make any movement. Be still, be calm, be still. The body can be still only through a very strong mental resolve. Otherwise, here itching, there itching, something will start. Once you decide to sit still, the mind will say, why are you sitting still? I have itching here. I want to itch here. So that kind of thing will start happening. So a strong mental resolve is a must if we want to keep our body still. Now, sitting like this in the firm posture, Now we started looking single-pointedly at the tip of our nose. There is a reason for doing this also. When you start focusing at the tip of your nose, it exerts an influence on the retina of your eyes. You can try it, maybe now or after the session. Start looking at it continuously, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and your retina will start getting influenced through that. When the retina gets influenced, it starts working on the pineal gland, which is on the backside of your brain. Everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. The acupressure people can tell you this better. But gazing here put pressure on the it puts pressure on the retina, and the retina pressure will open the pineal gland on the backside of your brain. And that pineal gland is the gland that regulates the flow of hormones in the body. When the flow of hormones is regulated, that helps in stabilizing the mind, in making the mind still, in calming down the mind. So these are interconnected. That is why sometimes people say that a yogi should have some knowledge about the physical anatomy also. He may be knowing adhyatmic thing, but he also needs to know his own body. Otherwise, what will happen? The body will have some problem and he will be treating the mind for it. For example, a person has a habit of eating too much. So people will say, my God, this fellow has a habit of eating too much. Wherever he goes, he starts eating. He is always hungry. But it may not be a mental problem. His thyroid may be overactive. A person whose thyroid is overactive, he is always hungry. He keeps eating and then puts on weight, of course. But the remedy is not in the mind. The remedy was in the body, thyroid level. So that's why some information about your own body is also a must for a yogi who is doing this meditation. Now, having done all these steps, you have controlled your body, you have gazed here, all that. Having done all this, when you are looking at the tip of your nose, your pineal gland has opened, the hormone flow has started, the regulation of hormones has started, everything is fine, very good. Simultaneously, in the previous shlokas also Paramatma said, equalize your incoming and outgoing breath. Incoming and outgoing breath, equalize that. And that is it. These are the steps. Your mind will never be dissipated or agitated again when you follow these 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Better to sit in front of a yoga guru and practice it initially to learn it better. Instead of trying it alone on your own through some book, sit in front of a yoga guru and follow these steps one by one. And what happens when you become an expert in this practice? If you do this kind of meditation day in and day out for many days, and what happens when you become you become an expert in doing this practice, that Paramatma will tell in the next shloka. When you are an expert in doing this kind of meditation, what you are going to gain. That Paramatma explains in the next shloka. Prashantatma vigatabhir brahmachari vrati sthitaha manassayamya macchittau yukta asita matparaha. So, with all those steps followed, with an unagitated, subdued, regulated, constrained mind, which is devoid of fears. Vigata bhi. Vigata is gone, relinquished, given up. What? Bhi. Bhi is fear. Why? Then, brahmachari vratisthita. What is brahmachari? The celibacy. Free from thoughts related to the sex. That is celibacy. So completely firm in that vow of celibacy, one should meditate upon me. Prashantatma vigatbhir brahmachari pratisthita manassayam achitto. Put your chitta in me. Concentrate your mind on me. Yukta asita matpara. This is the way the yogi should attain me as his ultimate objective, his ultimate goal. Prashantatma vigadabhi brahmachari vrate sthitah manas sayyama chitto yukta asita matpara. Thus, with the steeled and calm down mind, stable mind, which is fearless and firm in the vow of celibacy, brahmacharya. We'll discuss this brahmacharya. One should meditate, contemplate on me. Attaining me should be the prime objective, prime goal of your life. This is what Paramatma says in this shloka. Now we may get a little scared with the word brahmachari and find it difficult to practice it. But who is a brahmachari? And who is a celibate? Celibate, brahmachari, celibate. There are two ways of thinking of it. One is at spiritual level, our scriptures, our Vedas, our scriptures say that the one who has attained Brahma is a brahmachari. The one who has attained Brahma is a brahmachari. This is at the spiritual level. Then what about at physical level? At physical level, one who is systematically enters that act, physical act, with complete awareness, not compelled by any driving urge. Not compelled by any driving urge, such a householder is also a brahmachari. So what is the culprit? The urge. If you are devoid of that urge, then you are also a brahmachari. A householder is also a brahmachari if he enters into the act without the urge of desire, without the urge, no urge. So urge should be under your control, not the urge is controlling you. So such a brahmachari, despite engaging in the physical activity, he remains a brahmachari. The important point is the absence of any driving urge, lust, or excitement. A person who is devoid of this, who has controlled, who has restrained all this, is a brahmachari. So he is not being enslaved to that urge of the body, but he is controlling that urge. He is not getting enslaved by that urge. Thus, being a household is no barrier for becoming a brahmachari. Now, Geeta is said by Lord Krishna, who himself was a householder. It is said to Arjuna, who himself is a householder. None of them were brahmacharis per se. So, a householder can be a brahmachari, provided what we discussed just now, the urge doesn't enslave them. There is a small story. A youngster, 14, 15 years old, suddenly started getting dreams of girls. And then he thought something wrong is going on in me. The fellow was thin, pale, not very well built. So he went to a yogi. He said to Yogi Maharaj, I have started getting some kind of bad dreams. And I see girls in my dreams. My goodness. Okay. I feel very guilty about it. Okay. What else? But the girls don't get attracted to me. Nobody talks to me. Nobody even looks at me. So what do you want? No, I want to get rid of this problem. Okay. Come tomorrow at 4 o'clock to my ashram. Yogi said to that young boy, come tomorrow 4 o'clock morning to my ashram. Boy said, these both problems can be resolved? Yes, it's guaranteed. Rest assured. The boy who used to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, next day morning he got up early, 4 o'clock sharp, he was at that ashram of Yogi. There were some more people like him there. So the Yogi taught them one shloka to calm down their mind first. And then he got practiced some asanas from them and pranayama, some exercises from them. At the end of asana and pranayama, he gave another 10 minutes to explain about spirituality. 1 hour session ended. Boy went home. Next day came. This routine followed for a week. After 1 week, the boy went to the yogi and he said, Same thing is still happening. I'm not finding much change. You said you will change everything. Nothing is changing. I'm still doing the same thing. Oh, Shane. Wait. It will happen step by step. Don't be in a hurry. It will happen. So the boy put faith in the yogi and he continued the practice. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, the boy started realizing the effect of pranayama, asana, and that spiritual talk what the yogi used to give every day in the morning. After 4 months, the yogi asked him, "What do you say about your problems now?" The boy said, "Which problem? Hey, you forgotten about your problems?" He said, "No, now the girls don't come to my thoughts at all. My mind is very clean, pure, plain. I feel very, very light. I feel very, very light now. And as if I have been given some strong energy dose. So I feel very, very energetic. Now people have started taking note of me, but I don't care for them now. I ignore them. I'm happy within myself. I'm happy within myself." So Yogi said, whatever is happening to you was because of the hormonal changes in your body. This happens with many people, most of us. So you should not have found guilt within yourself for that. There are remedies for everything. The mind should be calm and detached. That is the important thing. And that is what is achieved through yoga. Swamiji taught him the yogic practice, pranayama and asanas, and also some spiritual talk here and there. And then that boy's habits started changing. He started developing confidence within himself that yes, I can also think positive. People can also take note of me. The glow on face started showing. His talks started impressing the people. And once you test that inner nectar, amrit, within yourself through this meditational practice, through yogic practice, then the worldly attractions, they fail to poison your mind. Earlier, the boy, his mind used to get poisoned because he was not open to this kind of things. Once the Swamiji opened the gate of this meditation, this yoga for him, his mind became clean, clear, pure, and the worldly attractions then could not poison his mind. So this is the magic of yoga. Now we go to the next shloka, 15th shloka. Yunjannevam sadatmanai yogi niyatamanasah shantin nirvana paramam matsamstha madhigacchati. Shantin nirvana paramam matsamstha madhigacchati. Now Paramatma says that you have learned this technique of yoga. Once the mind is stilled and immersed in the divine. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantin nirvana paramam matsamstha madhigacchati. Once the mind is stilled and immersed in the divine Paramatma, one attains the supreme peace and joy. And such a being, such a man is liberated for eternity. He has already tested that nectar within himself. See how easy it is to get liberated now. It is just that you don't know this, and then that is why you keep suffering, Paramatma says. You suffer because of your ignorance. And this is the reason why you need a guru. Who can give you a medicine? Who can give you a medicine? That medicine could be Raja Yoga, practice of pranayama, it could be pratyahara, it could be dharana, dhyan, anything. So that you can be cured of your self-inflicted illness. Most of the illness that we think are mental, and they are self-inflicted. We create them for ourselves. And what a cure that will be when you are cured of your self-inflicted illness through this yogic practice. From being entrenched in the misery of attachments, with our body, mind, intellect, and senses, we get liberated to the ultimate freedom of knowing that one is not body, mind, and intellect. Once you were attached to this body, mind, intellect trio, but after following these yogic practices, meditational practices, when you are connected to the Supreme and you start realizing that you are not body, mind, and intellect, and from being perennially miserable to being perennially blissful, contrast. Here you were perennially miserable. Now you have become perennially blissful. Thanks to the meditational practice, yogic practice. From the false identification with the finite body, our body is finite. We identified ourselves with our finite body, that I am body. Okay. And then we change our thoughts to all-pervasive, ever-blissful, detached witness. That is the Parabrahma. So leaving our attachment, Sharir Tadatmya, what we call, and getting attached to Paramatma, that route is given to us through the meditational practice. The entire life gets transformed, and then you finally learn the art of, as a craft of living this life. Then whether someone comes or someone goes, whether someone is born or someone dies, it makes no difference to the yogi. To the detached witness, he remains a detached witness to all the situations. Nothing can disturb him whatsoever. Whatsoever happens, he doesn't get disturbed at all. We go to next shloka, shloka number 16. Now, there are some basic rules we need to follow before we start yogic practice. That also Paramatma gives in details. Shloka number 16. Na tyashnatastu yogosti na chaikantamanashnataha na chati swapna shilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. No, not. Ati ashnat. Ashnat is to eat, not too much eating. Not too much of eating. Na tyashnatastu yogo asti na chaikantamanashnataha. Ekantam. Overly, bilkul. Anashtataha, abstaining, avoiding eating. So don't be extremist. Extremist in the sense, don't eat too much or don't remain totally hungry. Both are extremes. Midway is the key. Moderation is the key. So natyashnatastu yogosti na chaikantam anashtata. Na chati swapna shilasya. Na chati swapna shilasya. Don't sleep too much or don't keep awake all the time. Again, two extremes. Again, the keyword is moderation. So, natyashtatastu yogosti na chaikantamanashta na chati swapna shilasya jagrato naivacharya. This yoga is possible to a person who is not an extremist. Extremist in the sense, who is not eating too much or he is not eating at all. Both are extremes. Moderation. Moderation. It is not possible to a person who is sleeping too much or to a person who is not sleeping at all. So the Lord says, yoga is not possible to the one who eats too much or too little. Nor is it possible to someone who sleeps too much or who sleeps too little. So a yogic seeker must have some knowledge of human anatomy, as we discussed earlier, and physiology. As we discussed many times, we cure the wrong way our body. When the problem is with some other part of the body, we treat some other part of the body or we treat our mind. Now, if we eat too much, as we discussed, the problem could be with the thyroid. If we are sleeping too much, it could be the hormonal imbalance. It may not be a mental problem. If we know the physical anatomy a little bit, probably we will know that whether the body problem is there or the mind problem is there. If the body is unhealthy, then how will you carry on your spiritual practice? Can we? No. So some kind of body maintenance is also required. That's why Paramatma says yoga. Yoga is all asanas, pranayam. Pranayam will also be given equal stress in Geeta as well. So the ideal situation is when you get up early in the morning, do your asanas, do your pranayam, and then have your breakfast. Try to eat natural organic product and refrain from eating processed food or the refined sugar. Eat natural ghee, which is made from the cow's milk, but in moderation. Ghee should always be eaten in moderation. Secondly, eat only as much as that fills 1/4 or at the most 1/3 of your stomach capacity. And ensure that you chew the food properly so that it is liquefied in your mouth itself. It is liquefied in your mouth itself and then gulp it. Don't drink water within 1 hour of eating. It is a good practice to lie down on the left side of your body after lunch for 15-20 minutes, not for sleeping, but for providing extra blood supply to your liver for proper digestion of the food that you have eaten. Senior citizens are allowed to sleep. Okay. The other extreme is when people don't eat at all. They don't eat enough. That too is not right. How your body will get energy if you don't eat enough? Likewise, sleeping too much or too little is also injurious to your health, and such a person cannot do yoga. So what is the rule? Do not live life in extremes. Moderation is the key. Whether it is eating or whether it is sleeping, moderation is the key. Okay, having said that, we go to the next shloka. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yuktahara viharasya. The same thing Paramatma says, you should eat enough. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Whatever we discussed just now, Paramatma says, at least once a day, you should carry out some physical activity to make your body sweat. And this sweat will wash away all the bodily toxins, thereby energizing and refreshing your body. There is a way of sleeping and waking up also. For example, you ought to know that in which direction to sleep. For example, you should not align your body's position with the Earth's magnetic field. If you sleep in the wrong direction, the magnetic field of the Earth will harm your brain cells. And your sleep will also get disturbed. Lord says, those who lead their life in moderation are eligible to receive the fruits of yoga. Those who live in extremes, they cannot get the fruits of yoga. So whether it is sleeping or whether it is eating, moderation. Moderation is the key. Paramatma says moderation is the key. Okay. We go to next shloka now. Yada vinite chittam atman nevavatishthate nispruhas sarva kamebhyo yukta ityujyate tada. When the totally controlled subconscious mind, it rests in that pure jivatma, pure self, and that is devoid of all materialistic desires. Such a person is said to be yoga yukta. That means he is steadfastly established in yoga already. Now, can you control your subconscious mind? Rather, you can understand it. You can understand what is there in my subconscious mind. The word control is used for mind and senses. Control your mind, control your senses. But can you forcibly control your mind or forcibly control your senses? All you can do is be aware and observe the working of the senses, the mind, and the intellect. How do they work? That is how you can understand their functioning. And the moment you become an observer of your own mind, all the mental fluctuations and modifications simply go away. You assume that you are not the mind, you are an observer of your mind. Watch your mind, observe your mind as a witness. You cannot control, you can also understand your mind. Where do the thoughts come and where do they go? How does the mind function? You can understand this only when you are observing it as a witness. Observing as a witness. And when your mind has quietened down through this process, then only you can test that inner nectar within yourself. The mind has to be stabilized first. Time is running out. We go to the next shloka now, 19th shloka quickly. Yatha deepo nivatasto nengate sopama sprata yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. Now Paramatma here is comparing a flame which is burning. The flame does not flicker when it is placed in a breezeless place. There is no breeze blowing there, so it is steady there. That is the analogy used to describe the state of the yogi, whose mind is perfectly stable. Now his mind is stable. There are no wavering breeze of kamanas and desires disturbing his mind, the flame of his mind, and who always remains absorbed in that divine remembrance of the Paramatma. That means the steadfastness of yogi's mind, which remains absolutely still, absolutely calm, without a quiver of a single thought, single kamana, single desire. No breeze of desire disturbs the quiet mind. If your mind is already quiet, no breeze of desire or kamana will disturb your mind. At a deeper level, you are the flame, and the light of awareness never extinguishes within ourselves. But the tragedy is, our state today is such that that inner light itself is stumbling in the darkness of ignorance within ourselves. The light is there, light is not there, light is there. But our ignorance, the light itself is struggling to come out of that darkness of ignorance. And while doing so, it is wandering aimlessly, stumbling, falling in that ignorance. That is, what is ignorance? In those attachments, in those desires, in those kamanas. You were and you are the fragment of Paramatma, but what a wonderful tragedy it is that we have no inkling of our own essence. That is the tragedy. The desire agitate and distress our mind. These desires, they throw our mind in turmoil. Thus, you have to be always careful that the desires don't keep disturbing the peace of your mind. Don't let the desires drive your mind into turbulence. Try to control your desires. I think we'll stop here. The time is already over. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Vaidya, for this brilliant, enlightening session. I wanted to express my gratitude to you. Thank you so much. Now it's time for question answer round. So whoever has a question, please raise your hand and switch on your camera so that we can spotlight you. Anyone having any question, please raise your hand. You can ask your question here. No questions, Vaidya. Anyone having any question?
Okay, I have a question for a few of the people in audience. How many of them do the meditation? Anyone doing meditation? Can you share your experience?
Anil Bhaiya ji, please raise your hand. Yes. Shanti Didi. Yes. Yes, Sas Bihar Bhaiya ji, please ask your question.
मैं हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ क्या?
हाँ हाँ जरूर जरूर बोलिए, हिंदी बोलिए।
मुझे आपकी बात बहुत ही ज्यादा ग्रह लगी और बहुत पर्सनल बात आपने पूछा है कि मेडिटेशन का कोई इफेक्ट आया क्या? तो
हाँ।
मेडिटेशन में नियमित करता हूँ, कभी कोई इफेक्ट आया हो ऐसी बात नहीं हुई, लेकिन एक ऐसा, जैसे प्राय 3 से 4 के बीच में मैं उठता हूँ और करता हूँ, एक ऐसी बात हुई है जो मैं शेयर करने से घबराता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जैसे मैं अपने शरीर में नहीं हूँ और कहीं बाहर फ्लॉट कर रहा हूँ। मैं बहुत डर गया।
क्या बात है, क्या बात है, बहुत बढ़िया।
मैं बहुत डर गया था कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि मैं कहाँ हूँ, मैं कौन हूँ, मैं क्या हूँ। और मैंने फिर मतलब जैसे कहे स्वामी जी कि मुझे इतना डर लगने लगा कि मैं समझ में नहीं आ रहा था, लेकिन उस वक्त में मेरी अनुभूति ऐसी हुई जैसे मैं बिल्कुल, वजन नहीं है मेरा मैं कम मैंने वेटलेस हो गया हूँ। और नेक्स्ट डे मॉर्निंग में होल डे, नॉट ओनली दैट डे बट ऑल्सो द कमिंग डे, 2 दिन मेरी स्थिति ऐसी रही जैसे कि अपार शक्ति हो मेरे में, अपार सोचने की शक्ति हो, अपार शरीर में शक्ति आ गई हो, ऐसा हुआ था। लेकिन फिर नहीं हो रहा है, मेरी वेदना है, ये मैं नहीं कर, ऐसी अनुभूति नहीं हो रही है मुझे।
Dada, you have reached the extreme. That is the position people strive for the whole life to attain, which you have attained. So this is simply wonderful. If you attain that stage of coming out of your body, people struggle for the whole life to get that kind of feeling, you know. And if you are in the habit of doing it, nothing like it. I mean, the purpose of getting human birth is this only: getting out of our body, mind, intellect, senses, and getting one with Paramatma. If you have already done that, no words for you then. Great. Please teach all of us how you have done that.
You are muted. Yes. Sarojini Didi.
Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Jai Shri Krishna. I've always tried, I follow whatever you say, but after that, what? After concentrating on the tip of the nose, what do we do to do the meditation? What do we do? I don't know how to proceed after that.
See, you have to equalize the incoming and outgoing breath. Equalizing
Yes.
of breath is important.
Yes.
So once your mind becomes thoughtless, breathing in or breathing out, that stage is so calmed down, so quiet that people don't come to know whether you are breathing in or you are exhaling. So the body is still, the mind is still, and that is the situation, that is the position you want to attain. Once you attain that situation, that position,
Yes.
when your mind has become already strong, outside desires, kamanas don't disturb you. And once you are in that state of meditation for a few seconds, for a few minutes,
Yes.
that time span is to kept on increasing. You need to increase on that. And then a day comes, even when you are not meditating, your mind and body are still. So from whether you are meditating or not meditating, your mind is already occupied by that meditation. That is one needs to achieve.
Okay.
But that should be the habit of our life. That should be the way we need to live our life. That is the whole purpose of meditation.
And sometimes we fall asleep also. Is it correct? We fall.
Yeah, it does happen, because if you close your eyes and after some time you start dozing, that's true. It does happen. But initially it could happen. Over a period of time, this habit should go away. Even if you are sleeping, in fact, but if you are aware, if you are awake in your subconscious, then it's okay. Your subconscious should be active that time. Your subconscious should not sleep. Within your mind, you shouldn't be talking to your own jivatma. If you are talking to your jivatma within your subconscious mind, then it is okay. Then you are not sleeping. For outside world, you may have closed your eyes and you are dozing, you are sleeping. But if your subconscious level is okay, then if it is awake, then you are not sleeping.
And another thing is, can we try? Is it correct to get to that type of this thing, state of mind while lying down? Means when you are going to sleep, can you try to bring to that state? Is it correct, or you should always sit only?
You see, that's a very long discussion. But if you read the 8th Adhyaya of Bhagavad-Gītā, 8th
Yes.
Adhyaya of Bhagavad-Gītā teaches us how to live our body. Live in the sense L-E-A-V-E.
Okay.
Entire Bhagavad-Gītā is teaching us how to live the life, L-I-V-E.
Okay.
8th Adhyaya teaches us how to live this world, when we are living this body, when we are living this world. At that stage, it is imagined that people living this world may not be in the top of their health. They will be lying down on the bed.
Yes.
All these mental exercises, all these exercises, what we have discussed today, you need to practice them mentally as if you are lying down. But so long as you are physically fit, you should do it physically. But if you are not physically well, then while lying down, you need to do this meditation mentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will try. I will try whatever you are saying. Thank you, Jai Shri Krishna.
Pradeep Nagarthanji.
Jai Shri Krishna Swamiji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I just wanted to know how much time we should meditate every
There's
day.
a time limit on that, Pradeep ji. See, initially, you may take 1 hour to get your mind still for a few seconds. After a few days practice, you may attain that state of mind within half an hour. See, the idea is to get that stillness of mind for as long as possible. Once you are in the habit of getting that stillness in the mind, the thoughtlessness status of the mind, when you are restraining your senses, your mind, your intellect, then that is the state we want to, and this practice is entirely for attaining that stage. Once you are attaining that stage, whether you sit in that stage for 1 hour or 2 hours or 15 minutes or 20 minutes is up to you. But our whole purpose of meditation is to attain that stage. And attaining that stage takes a lot of efforts. It's not that easy. You must have experienced it.
Because at present, we are just doing 15-20 minutes. That's why I was just asking.
Yeah, but after 15-20 minutes, if you are getting that stillness, calmness of mind for 10 seconds, I would say you have achieved it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Lakshmi Didi. Lakshmi Didi, please unmute yourself.
हाँ जी, जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री
भैया
कृष्ण।
मैं करती हूँ मेडिटेशन, लेकिन कभी समझ में नहीं आता है कि क्या हो रहा है। कभी तो इधर लप 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 होता है, कभी एकदम हार्ट बीट सुनाई देती है। पहले तो ये होता था बिल्कुल खूब हिलने लगती थी कि बच्चियां बोलती थी मम्मी क्या कर रही हो, ये कैसे रुको। मैंने फिर पृथ्वी पे एनर्जी करके झुकती थी। और जब मैं दीक्षा मेरी हुई थी, शक्तिपात था, क्या था ईश्वर जाने, क्रिया योग की, तब तो मेरे को मतलब पद्मासन में भी मेरी गर्दन ही लटक जाती थी। बच्चे कह रहे मम्मी आप सोती हो, और खूब सब चीजें सुनाई देती थी, कई बार दिख जाता था कुछ भी। अब वो चीज खत्म हो गई है। अब उतना गुरुजी के यहाँ भी नहीं जा पाते हैं, जाने क्या है। और गुरुजी से कहा तो बोलते जब बच्चा चलना सीखता है तब उंगली पकड़ी आती है, तो अपने आप दौड़ना सीखना पड़ेगा। लेकिन अभी कभी कभी इधर ऐसे लगता है सादा ही बैठो ना, सांस 2-4 बार लो तो इधर लप लप हो, कभी लगता है जैसे दिल धड़क रहा है, खोजो से लग तक 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 सुनाई देती। बाकायदा ही हो रही है।
आप अपने टिप ऑफ नोज पे देखते हैं या पे भ्रुओं मध्य देखते हैं, बीच में देखती है, कहाँ देखते हैं आप?
नहीं, मैं तो एक-एक चक्र पे बस ऐसे ऊपर एक-एक चक्र पे ओम, ओम, ओम
आपने
करते हुए
जो
चढ़ती हूँ,
जगह
एक-एक
बताई ना
चक्र
कि
पे
जहाँ पे
सारी।
आपका टक टक धक धक होता है, वहां पे हमारा 10वां द्वार है। 9वां द्वार, ये पूरे ही 5वें अध्याय में 9 द्वार का वर्णन किया गया है। हमारा 10वां द्वार यहाँ पर है, जहाँ आपका टक टक हो रहा है ना वो, और वो टक टक
हाँ,
तब होता है।
ठीक है।
हाँ, तो वहां पे हमारा 10वां द्वार है। और जो मैं 8वें अध्याय की बात कर रहा था, उसमें 8वें अध्याय में इसका वर्णन है। लेकिन उसमें क्या है कि भ्रू और मध्य, मतलब अभी हम टिप ऑफ द नोज के ऊपर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करने की बात कर रहे थे। यदि भ्रू और मध्य यहाँ पे दोनों भ्रुओं के बीच अपना ध्यान केंद्रित करे कॉन्स्टेंटली, तो वहां से ये दरवाजा ओपन होता है। प्रैक्टिस करने के बाद एकदम से नहीं होता है, सालों की प्रैक्टिस लगती है उसके लिए। और जो
हाँ,
योगी
मैं
लोग अपनी प्राण त्याग करते हैं, तो वो
2005
यहाँ
से
पे
कर रही
इस
हूँ,
दरवाजे
लेकिन
से
मैं
करते हैं।
हेलो, सॉरी, हाँ।
हाँ, तो जो लोग यहाँ पे भ्रू और मध्य अपना कंसंट्रेट करते हैं, अपना गेजिंग करते हैं, इस दरवाजे जो
हाँ,
10वां दरवाजा खुलता है, 10वें दरवाजे से यदि प्राण प्राण शरीर से त्यागता है कोई, तो वो परमात्मा से ही मिलता है 10वें द्वार से। क्योंकि हमारे जो 9 द्वार है, वो सारे 9 द्वार पॉल्यूटेड है। 9 द्वार कौन से हमारे हैं? 2 2 2 1 7 और 2 मलमूत्र विसर्जन के। ऐसे जो 9 द्वार है, वहां से जीवात्मा को नहीं जाने देना चाहिए। इसके 10वें दरवाजे से यदि जीवात्मा हमारा प्राण शरीर छोड़ता है, तो वो सीधा परमात्मा से मिलता है, ऐसा मानना है। और वो करते हुए भी मन में हमारे ओम का ध्यान होना चाहिए। तो वो 8वां अध्याय जब पढ़ेंगे
वो
गीता का तब।
शांभवी
हाँ,
मुद्रा तो मैं थोड़ी देर करती हूँ, केवल 12 बार प्राणायाम में ओम करते हुए हर चक्र शांभवी मुद्रा में।
हाँ।
फिर वो हर चक्र पे 3-3 बार ओम जपते हुए सेकंड की घड़ी से टक 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 जो चलती है ना घड़ी अपनी, तो 21 सेकंड में लेती हूँ और 21 सेकंड में हर नीचे उतरती हूँ फिर।
अच्छा प्रैक्टिस फिर आपका तो अच्छा है फिर तो ये तो। लेकिन आपके यहाँ पे दर्द होता है क्या, यहाँ पे सर के ऊपर बीच में?
होता है, और होता क्या है, जैसे 5-6 बार बस में सांस, या 3 बार कभी-कभी, जैसे अभी आज तबीयत खराब है 2 दिन से, तो सांस फूलने लगती है, तो 2-3 बार लिया, फिर वो बीच में नॉर्मल करना पड़ता है, मतलब 12 बार का साइकिल नहीं कर पा रही हूँ।
हम्म।
या फीवर होता है तो 3-4 के बाद गैप लेते हैं, चलेगा?
उस पे गैप तो चलता नहीं है, लेकिन ये तबीयत खराब है तो फिर आप उसके लिए कुछ कर सकते नहीं है हम लोग तो। तबीयत तो पहले ठीक होना चाहिए, शरीर सुदृढ़ होगा तो ही योगा हो सकता है। अभी जैसे हमने पढ़ा।
लेकिन वो मैंने कहा प्रैक्टिस नहीं छूटा, इसलिए कर लेती हूँ मैं, कि जैसा है कुछ तो चलता
हाँ
रहे ना कुछ से।
हाँ हाँ, प्रैक्टिस करते रहिए, जितनी जमती है प्रैक्टिस उतना करते रहना चाहिए, छोड़िए मत, प्रैक्टिस मत छोड़िए।
जी भैया।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
अनिल भैया जी।
नमस्ते गुरु जी। हम लोग मेडिटेशन करते हैं रोज सुबह ही, रेगुलरली करते हैं।
वेरी गुड।
बहुत ही शांति मिलती है, मतलब उससे आधा एक घंटा, कौन घंटे से 1 घंटा या 1.5 घंटे तक।
बढ़िया।
तो हम यहाँ पर भ्रू मध्य पे रखते हैं, मतलब ऐसे।
हाँ। हम्म
और मतलब यहाँ से जो पास होता है,
हम्म
वहां से मतलब ऑब्जर्व करते हैं कि थॉट जो उठ रहा है, मतलब वो यहाँ
हम्म
से होता है,
हम्म।
इस तरह का करते हैं। तो काफी शांत लगता है। पर ऐसे कुछ क्रियाएं होती हैं, मतलब ऐसे जैसे सिर हिलना, मतलब ये फ्रिक्वेंटली काफी रहता है।
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
पर बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मतलब ऐसा करने से।
ये बढ़िया है। क्योंकि वैसा ही जैसे दीदी ने बताया कि उनका यहाँ का 10वां द्वार हिलने लगता है कई बार।
हम्म,
यदि आप वो ऐसा करते हैं भूरो और मध्य,
हम्म,
8वां अध्याय अभी तक पढ़ेंगे तो आपको ये मतलब ज्ञात हो जाएगा कि सारे योगी लोग तो ये दरवाजा खोलने की प्रैक्टिस करते हैं कि ये दरवाजा कैसे करके खुल जाए। मेरे देखे हैं गुरुवानी महाराज पुणे के, उनका
हाँ,
यहाँ दरवाजा जो था ना, देयर वाज लाइक ए ट्यूमर हियर ऑन द टॉप ऑफ हिज हेड, बिकॉज ही यूज्ड टू ओपन दिस गेट मेनी टाइम्स।
हम्म,
10th door or 10th gate of the body he used to open. He was in the practice of opening it through his meditation. And that is the objective people want to achieve at the end of their life. When they are leaving their body,
हम्म,
the Jivatma should leave the body through this 10th gate, which is the most pious gate. All other gates are polluted. So this is the most pious gate. If you are saying mentally Om, and if the body leaves, the Jivatma leaves the body through this gate, then you are done. Then you are directly meeting the Paramatma. That is said in Bhagavad-Gītā. So there is no question of doubting it.
okay. Thank you.
Jai Shri. Any more
Anyone
questions?
having, yes. Anyone having any question? let's. I wanted to express my gratitude to Vikas Bhaiyaji. It was thoroughly enlightening and informative session for the listeners. Thank you so much once again, Bhaiyaji.
Thank you, Rashna.
It's my privilege. It's my privilege.
Thank you, Krishna.
See, now it's time. Before our Samapana prayer, I would like to thank our Vichana team, our technical team, and our all volunteers who are serving for Lord Krishna. Now let's come to our Samapana prayer. I would like to invite Shanti Srinivasan Didi. She is from Bangalore, serving as a trainer, and she is also Techno Star. She is associated with Geeta Parivar, August 2021. Please welcome Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी, जय श्री कृष्ण गुरुजी। योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को।
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Didi, for this beautiful Samapana prayer. And once again, thank you so much, Vikas Bhaiyaji, and all of you, our viewers and listeners who listen attentively the whole session. We will meet in next Arthvivechana Satra. Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनौ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायकु फल चारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय संजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सस वदन तुम्हारो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेली मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के देते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे दे दे। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत ना आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरन, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, हे प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे वासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म है भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि तेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप।
Jai Shri Krishna to everyone.